John Cena was recently on the Bill Simmons podcast, and he spoke about the heel turn, giving fans a little bit of a preview of what he feels went right and went wrong with this heel turn. Now, you guys all know this. We've talked about this to death. This retirement tour was a cluster. It was all over the place. You know, we have 1 month they're telling one story, the next month they're telling another story, the next month it's another story. It was very last minute put together. And it kind of shows that WWE needs to work on pivoting better because they quite frankly they don't seem to understand how to do that very well. And this retirement tour could have been so much more than what it was. And the reason I always say that is because this is not like a middle of the road, like a mid Carter that we're talking about. This is a guy for 20 years has always been on the top. Like whenever you think of wrestling, this is the first person that comes out of your mouth. If you're a casual, you have no idea about any superstars, you ask anybody, they will know this man's name. That is how well known this guy is. What he has done for the business, it's just not. You cannot sit here and say that the way that his retirement tour went is in line with just how much of an impact he had on the business. It's not in line with it. He's earned way more. And on the podcast, Cena, he talked about his heel turn and his subsequent villainous run earlier this year. He said, "What is perfect? Perfect is never achievable. That's a sucker's chase. When I look back on it, could I have given any more than I did? Not a bit. I over-prepared. The cool thing is, when the audience began to turn, we turned. They helped it out. That dynamic was a little bit ahead of schedule for Cody Rhodes and I, but it made for a great showing in the summer. Let's try John like this. I know we have limited time, but let's do something really big. Okay, it didn't work. It didn't mean I didn't give it my all. As we know, Elimination Chambers, when Cena turned heel, it marked the first time in more than 20 years he was a heel. And Cena suggested that the heel run was primarily hamstrung by a lack of time, since he and WWE attempted to pull off something in months that may have required multiple years to do properly. Cena says, I think a lot of people were wondering what would happen if Cena turned heel. When I did, it left a taste in people's mouths that they didn't like. They wanted other stuff. I wanted a music change, a uniform change, to act like this, and I got 11 months to do this, 36 TV appearances. It takes 5 years to get a guy over regardless. So if you turn him, it's going to take a year or two on television for it to sink in, especially if you really want to get into it and be able to flip and get a performer to get a flip on the other side when it's time to turn again." Now, I'm gonna get to this point here, but I'm gonna finish what he said. I don't have the time to tell the right story. That's beside the point because I'm told we're going with this story. We are sure. I'm going to do the best I can. Now, let's go back here, okay? He said, if you turn him, it's going to take a year or two on television for it to sink in, especially if you really want to get into it and be able to flip and get a performer to get a flip on the other side when it's time to turn again. If you guys remember, this run was so lazily booked. It was just horrendous the way they put it together, that they had no ways of slow building his turn back to a face. If you remember this, it was like one night the guy was like against the crowd, and then the next show he's like, you know what, that was all an act, guys. I'm turning back to a baby face. I'm going to be a good guy again. And then he goes into the PLE, and I think it was the SummerSlam PLE with Cody Rhodes, and he's a face again. This is what Cena's talking about right here. And this is the biggest issue out of the entire thing. You turn the guy, and then instantaneously, because you have limited time, you don't let it simmer. You don't let the process play out, and you just turn him back to face. And this, I believe, it's an insult to the business. Because it's like watching your favorite TV show, okay? And all of a sudden, one week, you have the hero, they go to the dark side. And then a few episodes later, the production team is saying, oh, you know what? The fans aren't liking this. The fans don't like, the way that this is playing out. We got to turn him back to the good side so he'll be a hero again. It's like, okay, but you don't just turn him like that, because it's an insult to the fans. It's an insult to the viewer. You need to know how to slow build this and how to transition it effectively. And you see, the problem with this one was because you have limited dates. You see? You have limited dates. So you cannot sit there and slow build. You have a limited amount of time to put Cena on television and have matches go through so they can sell tickets. And if this is the issue, again, you look at it and you say, was it the smartest thing to turn him heel in his last year? The heel turn was great, but was it smart to do it in his final year? We're seeing it now. It wasn't. Cena then goes on. He says, the plan originally was to do a full year. This goes to show my ignorance of the business. I wanted to do 220 dates. Just like the year, just take the year off from everything, hop on a bus, do a full calendar, and then totally say goodbye. Thank goodness the business isn't like that anymore. I'd be done. They only needed me for 36. And then, so Cena did end up taking acting jobs during the year. He explained that a full-time schedule is just too much for him at this point. He says, hey man, 36 dates must have been easy this year. I did too many jobs. I was in Budapest, flying to Indy, do Indy, fly back, land, go film, doing that until post-WrestleMania, back and forth to Morocco, Budapest, all these crazy places that weren't easy commutes. You think you can do it? I'll sleep on the plane. You don't. It doesn't happen. Then you get upside down and you're super fatigued, and I threaded the needle just enough. And he will be wrestling his final match of his career on December 13th, which, as I'm filming, today is Friday, so it's a week from tomorrow. And he is scheduled to appear on the Raw after WrestleMania. But that's just an appearance. He's not going to be wrestling per se. It'll be interesting to see what role he plays after his retirement run is finally over, officially over. But this is John Cena, and he himself admits that the way that you went from face to heel, the way that you turned somebody and turn them back, it left a sour taste in people's mouths, and it certainly did. So regardless, I look forward to seeing his send-off. Saturday night's main event should be big. I was hearing rumors that apparently the Cena match is going on first. I really hope that's not the case. I really hope we don't do Cena to kick off the show. He's supposed to be the main event. He's supposed to be the one closing the show. This Saturday night's main event is around John Cena, and I look forward to it. So if you guys have any thoughts and opinions on the Cena run this year, is there something you would have done differently? Is there something you wish would have been done differently? Would you have rather seen a different matchup that we didn't get to see this year? Leave your comments in the comments below. Let me know. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you will always get a notification when I post on the channel. And until next time, guys, take care.